out of the box or out of the wall, whatever you want to call it, you have, I have, we have, you should know what this is. The Strangers Pray at Night unrated version. So just FYI, before we talk about the unrated and R-rated version, the only difference with the unrated versus the R-rated is CGI or more blood, which is interesting because there is no different runtime, there's no different scenes, there's maybe a deleted scene or an alternate ending with this, but the movie itself, the exact same as the theatrical cut. But anyway, did I like this? This will be my second time watching it. Let's find out. Chase Liaki here with the Blue Futon reviewing The Strangers Pray at Night. What's about pretty simple premise. Have you seen the first Strangers? Well, this is a sequel 10 years later, which that probably didn't help the cause of the box office diminish, but it's pretty simple. These three murderers, now they're murdering another family in a trailer park this time instead of a singular house. So, did I like this film? This is actually a very different film from the first one. While the first one did a lot more wham bam thank you man for the oh shit sound effects, this one went more on the 80s feel, how the camera is shot, how the camera is positioned, and the 80s music. So this has a very different vibe to it. And like the pool scene, the neon lights, pretty damn cool. But overall, I just think this movie is a fine slasher, nothing more, nothing less, brings nothing new to the table. And I think it's just very much a pro-gun movie. Because if you had the gun, they'd be dead. They'd be straight up dead. And people would be alive. So it's one of those things where, yeah, I think about that. But when I talk about the positives, I do like the uniqueness of some of the camera movements, the zooming in and zooming out, and the depth perception. And what I mean by that, there are some scenes where you see the depth and how they are kind of positioned. It's very unique, and I did like that style of, how they decided to put the camera in the cinematography. The songs, poppin', these fun 80s soundtrack, and I really did dig that. Also, I like it wasn't a soundstage. If you know me, I hate soundstage. Okay, I don't hate them, but I just think it's more out in the open. So there are really good cars going through trailer scenes. There's interesting scenes overall in this movie that I haven't really seen before. There's one cool one with a flaming truck coming at you, and the girl is kind of laying on the ground. And I thought, okay, that's very unique in how they decided to put the camera. Like I said, I think the camera placement, some of the editing, and just the overall look of the movie is different, and I do think that enhances the experience. However, there is nothing new to this movie. You kind of know who's going to die. Well, I'll say one thing. The person who dies first, I wasn't expecting them to die that quickly into the movie. So there is that, kind of a positive that way. But it's a standard slasher fare through and throughout. You have the three people that are just there to kill people. No motive, zero dot. They're just sadistical fucks. Put it that way. The family, some of them are pretty damn stupid. Like I said, if you have a gun and someone just stabbed your sister, shoot the bitch. That damn simple. One shot, boom, wham, bam, thank you, man. Because then you'd be kind of done with that character, period, end of subject. So yeah, I just think the frustration of this movie is I hate the words man up, woman up, but fuck some shit up if they're fucking with your family. Same with the movie See No Evil, which I know they're making a remake with James McAvoy that comes out this year. And I won't lie, I'm terrified of what that movie is actually going to show because I hate quote-unquote weak people where they refuse to stand up for their life. Not for what they believe in, because sometimes you stand for something you believe in and it's completely wrong. But if you're not going to stand up for your life or your family's life, I think that's where society is crumbling as a whole. And that's kind of has that themes in this movie. But this is a very simple movie, hour and 25 minutes. The one with Liv Tyler, I think, was an hour and 30 minutes. Strangers Chapter 1, though, is going to be a 2-hour movie. So it's going to be 30 minutes longer than the two ones that came out in 2008 and 2018. So I'm very interested in why it needs to be 30 more minutes. But I haven't seen it yet. But overall, Strangers Pray at Night is a standard slasher fare through and throughout. Story, simplistic. The overall things happen in this movie, pretty simplistic. However, there is enough interesting camera movement, interesting cinematography, sound design, soundtrack, and editing to make you go, okay, that makes it worth somewhat of your time. So The Strangers Pray at Night will receive a 2.5 out of 5 Futons, which equals at 50%. So the critics and user scores gave this one. So you have critics a 40%, audience score 35%. So it looks like they liked this one a lot less than the original one. I could see it. All right. Critic consensus. The Strangers Pray at Night may appeal to fans of the original who's been jonesing for a sequel, but its thin story and iconic embrace of generic tropes adds up to a bloody step back. Sure, I agree, but I do think the director, Johannes Roberts, does a solid job overall. 40, 35, 50. Chase Lock here with the Blue Futon. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know things Butontopia. You Blue Futonians, think watch a great day. I can watch Tate tomorrow, week from 1 year from every single freaking one of you. I had chugged water. Didn't want to burp. That would have been very unprofessional. But I am an unprofessional person anyway, so who cares, right?